All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this Colecast presentation, bringing you the Runic Shift Invitational Round of 4, the semifinals, where ex-Trademark does lead QsQ 357-1-0, forcing the Hellborn team to the wall. And right now, they've got to put it all on the line if they want to continue in this tournament. So, I'm of course your casting host, Beef, and with me, iNsania, once again. iNsania, what do you expect in this second game?
Well, from TDM, a very similar style. Tundra was not banned in the blind bans. I hope he does get banned now in the normal banning stage by QsQ. TDM just plays him so extremely phenomenally well, so I think banning him is just the right way to go about it. I like to see Pharaoh in the lock pool, a hero that's really good. He fits this kind of playstyle. Bubbles as well, perfect hero for what they want to do. Engineer is also locked up there. Just aggressive heroes, and yeah, actually I was informed by Team xtdM that they want to be referred to as Team Chexeren.
They're out of control.
Yeah.
They're absolutely out of control. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. When they get me a new reasonable logo that says Team Chexeren on it, then I will call them Team Chexeren.
Right.
Until then, they are considered out of control. As we already see the Tundra that you talked about being so strong, being shadow picked right now. But taking a look at the blind bans real quick, like 4 junglers being blind banned, 3.5. Moon Queen, I consider her half a jungler because after like level 7 in a Whispering Helm, you could pretty much jungle all you want. Keep it the Forest, Tempest, Moon Queen, and Parasite. Nothing too much to talk about there, although Artillery left unbanned.
Yeah, as I said, I don't really feel like Artillery is the biggest threat. So I don't mind that at all. Good lock pool, a lot of strong heroes. They banned out Flux, which might be a little bit surprising to the people that have been watching Han for a while. But this hero in this meta game is just so extremely strong. And with the Engineer locked up there and TDM having Freight, I think that is a very wise decision from Jonas. And this might even been a little bit of a bait, if you can call it that, from my notes. Just trying to force them into banning Flux so that they have one less ban to work with when it comes to the other heroes by locking an Engineer early on in the draft.
Well, there you go. Those other heroes that are going to be banned out, though, Deadwood, Artillery, Fade, Ophelia, Pebbles, and Flux, leaving some strong heroes on the board. I mean, with as many strong heroes as were just created by the patch and then, releasing 6 additional heroes, there's definitely always going to be some strong heroes on the board. MOA, considered one of the strongest, though, as he is first picked here. The versatility of this hero being what's key and why people like to pick him so early on in this picking phase.
Yeah, no, MOA is definitely a strong hero. I feel like this patch kind of was a slight indirect nerf to him and the heroes of his style, where it's all about, let's just keep our team alive. We don't really care about doing damage to the team, we just want to stay alive and let the damage over time. Long team fights, that's the kind of fights that MOA wants to take. But, yeah, so this kind of new patch, where it's a lot more about the burst, about the instant damage you can get out. A little bit of slight nerf to him, not the biggest deal, he's still an extremely strong hero, so...
yeah. Taking a look at what QsQ has done here, gone with the Glacius Kraken into Forsaken Archer now. Wouldn't be surprised to see them pick up a Pharaoh. If they do, this is 4 out of the 5 heroes that they did run against Complexity in game number 3 yesterday. The Kraken, Forsaken Archer, Pharaoh combo really working out, making sure to keep heroes nice and close together while laying out the damage. But in this case, they go with Magma and Bubbles, which just adds even more to the Wombo combo. And of course, the Kelp Field playing a similar role to the Pharaoh Wall of Mummies. But xtdM, they finish up with another very aggressive lineup themselves.
Yeah, and this is looking like a trial lane for Q Squad, and it's okay, I think. TDM does, however, have a response to it. They can just put Rally up against it. They have a very good lineup dealing with the trial lane, so I'm not really sure if it's going to be the most effective. It's a better draft than last time, I definitely think. They have a lot more aggressivity. Is that even a word?
That's not a word.
I don't think it is. But they can be a lot more aggressive with their lineup. And FA, Kraken, just really good heroes for this. TDM has a lot of melee heroes. They have a lot of heroes that need to get in the middle of the fight. I mean, you could even argue Engineer kind of functions as a melee hero in middle of team fights, because he has to run in and place his ultimate. So Kraken has a really easy time getting good ultimates off. And this is something I always talk about when you see a Tempest in a game, how going up against melee heroes, it's a lot easier to play against. It's a lot easier to catch a lot of heroes. You're generally just gonna have a better time landing good ultimates. And looking at the QsQ team, they have a lot of AoE stuns, they have a lot of AoE abilities, and in general can catch a lot of heroes. So if they play this out well, they could still do good, even though their lanes aren't really going to be set up perfectly, I feel.
Man, you know what I noticed about the ex-Trademark team? The power of beards. Engineer, Rally, and Master of Arms, all with those giant full beards, man. They're going to kick some ass wherever they go. I'm sorry, Insania, I got distracted by those magnificent facial hair. But I'm out of control, Insania. Stop me.
No, I mean, maybe Scout has some beard as well.
Yeah, you never know.
That mask, but I mean, look at that guy. He looks like he'd have a full beard.
It's possible. Dampier, unfortunately, does not. Is this a female Dampier?
Yeah, it's a Duchess Dampier.
Oh, okay.
It's an awesome skin.
It is
The only
nice.
thing is lacking is like turning into a vampire when he gets 3 essences.
Yeah,
that's
that'd
so
be
cool
sweet.
about that Count Dampier skin.
Yeah, of course. Now, talking about what we are going to be seeing here in the early game, look at the way that Glacius has purchased his items here very early. They are looking for a kill on this Scout.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're expecting the Scout to be wherever they're going. And it's so hard to call out lanes in this meta game with these lineups. Like, just look at them. It could basically be anything, just based off the heroes. It could be 2 dual lanes from MagFA top. It could be 2 dual lanes with MagFA long lane. It could be 2 dual lanes with. I mean, it could be a trial lane. It could be 2-1-2. It could be 2-2-1. There's so many possibilities with these lineups. So calling out lanes is going to be extremely hard, and just how you set up these lanes are going to end up being so important as always. And same goes for TDM's lineup. Like they have a lot of versatility. They have 2 heroes that could potentially suicide. They have 2 heroes that could short lane. They have 2 heroes that could go into a dual lane or a trial lane. So I think it's very hard to call the lanes, but whoever gets a favorable lane setup is definitely going to come out ahead. But I'm going to assume both teams are going to go for that long lane pull based off of their movement early on, and we might just see a clash again.
Yeah, we certainly could, as Limp does make his triumphant return, and we should be getting this game started here in just a second, as both teams are now ready. The unpause starts, and as the announcer says, let's get it on. There we go. Let's get it on.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I timed that so well. It was awesome.
Sorry, I got a little bit distracted. I was actually looking at the item choices. Bubbles is going for a lot of stats, which generally means he's either middle or short lane. So it looks to be a long lane trial lane with Kraken and Bubbles as solos. And that's pretty much the most standard, or whatever you want to call it, way that they could set up their lanes. And they're going for this first blood. This is an interesting play. They're going to long lane. But look at this. Absolutely perfect word from Fitzke.
Yeah,
they know what's going on.
Predicting that tri-lane down there and gets the very, very early ward. Immediately the ex-Trademark team going to start to fall back. Engineer does need to fall back. And he will, as an Electric Eye, will scout them out as well. Nice silence, making sure not to give up any gold. Ex-Trademark handling themselves very, very well so far.
Yep, and Kraken is moving in towards top, I would assume, since he's running so early. Bubbles is staying around because he's going to the middle lane. I'm not really sure. I feel like Scout is going to still farm against the Kraken, so maybe the Bubbles would have been better since he can put in the harass, but I'm not really sure about how strong Scout is in the lane. Kraken, however, a really good laner, and once again we're going to see the Style versus Zai matchup, and last time Style did get out ahead, and maybe he can do it again. Would be huge for their team.
Yeah, it certainly would, and he does play a fantastic Kraken. Saw it yesterday against Complexity Gaming. He was up against Moon Meander, actually, as a suicide tree, and not only beat Moon Meander, actually got 2 kills on Moon in lane against a tree. Just very, very well placed. Release the Kraken ultimates and making sure to get those tsunami charges off after dealing some significant harassment. So looking forward to seeing that matchup against the Scout, because he already says Invis really just ain't much of a problem for him.
Yep. Taking a look back at this bottom lane, we do see a lineup with 2 ranged supports and a melee farmer going up against a lineup with only 1 ranged support. And Magnus he was picked up in trial lanes a lot back in the day. I feel like, yeah, he's okay. He's really good later on. But in this position where he's not getting levels and it's going to be a very, very hard time for him getting kills, he's going to be extremely gimped this game. Unless xtdM makes major mistakes, and I don't think they are. So Limp is going to have a good time just farming down here. TDM are just going to take a passive route whilst they get levels on their heroes. Fitzcat got another counter ward off up here and got another one of Nova's wards.
Oh, Freeze coming out. Yeah, Freeze on Rally, bringing him down to about 50% life. The power of those two ranged, as you were talking about. Of course, only one of them being support, so they will lack a little bit in their capability for consistent harass. But I mean, talking about that Magnus, the issue with his levels, of course, being leveling up that stun and the small range that it does start out with. You want to get to that level 7 and the level 4 Lava Surge very, very quickly to set up those long-range stuns that are going to enable you to get those clutch kills. And definitely a hero that could use levels as he's going in for a Lava Surge right here. There's the Imprisonment coming out. The auto attack damage is there. They're turning around onto Magnus. The charge shot, excuse me, the Forked Lightning going to be coming out here as Molly in some trouble. The last auto attack's not going to be enough, but Master of Arms going to go down as MOA being played by Minut, sticking around just a little bit too long.
Yeah, I'm really surprised he went for his W ability instead of his charge shot. I feel like they would have been able to get the kill. Limp also a little bit too fast on just getting out there. All the skills had been used from TDM, from QsQ, and he just ran away anyways, even though he could probably have dropped an auto attack on the Magnus there and secure the kill with that. So a couple of questionable decisions from xtdM, but you can definitely see, I was going to bring this up, Nova is probably one of the most experienced tri-lane players that is still in the game. And it really does make a big difference. Tri-laning is like nothing you've done before if you've never played it. Dual laning and tri-laning are two complete different things. Your position needs to be absolutely perfect at all times. You need to know when you can take that extra step and go aggressive and when you need to play passive. Clashing tri-lanes is something that I think a lot of teams are very inexperienced with in this latest couple of, year I would even say. We haven't had tri-lanes.
Yeah, it's been about a year and a half now since we really have had that 3v3 tri-lane setup. That, like you said, Fnatic MSI was one of the most experienced teams out there in dealing with that and dealing with that effectively. Not only the innovators of their time, but also the dominant team of that period. So Nova, very good and probably comfortable in this setup. Like seeing that in the bottom lane, but looking up at the top lane, there's a lot of pressure being applied by Kraken and Scout onto one another. And taking a look at the CS here, we do have 17 and 2 for Scout, as opposed to the 18 and 5 for Kraken. So relatively even, but Styles taking a small advantage there.
Yeah. No, as I said, Scout is gonna still be farming pretty well. These are both very aggressive players. They both are. They're not afraid of taking risks. And that's why you just run up and hit each other, and they'll just man up and hit each other and keep hitting each other. And they're not afraid of dropping to low HPs.
The immortality of youth right there as a 15-year-old player taking on a 16-year-old player, which is just crazy to me, man. These kids are so dang good. Kraken already picking up a Gloves of the Swift, so likely going for the Steam Boots. Yesterday, we actually saw him go for the new Elder Parasite route on that Kraken, which was a very cool pickup, as more initiation bottom possible. Magnus kind of hiding off to the side. Crippling Volley will land on Rally. Not really going to do a whole lot, though.
Yeah, we talked about signature heroes last game, and I would say FA is one for Nox. This is a hero that he's played really, really well and for a long time. And comfort zone, comfort heroes, really big deal. And they have one right now. They have both Nova in the tri-lane, which is probably his most comfortable position, I would say, and Nox on a Forsaken Archer. Two very, very good things for QsQ, and they're doing pretty fine down here.
Release the Kraken ultimate used on Scout up top as he takes some pressure. As Velma's saying no silly about something. I don't even know what you're talking about, Velma. You're insane.
Yeah. Was that a global message?
It looked like a global message to me.
Yeah, okay. I'm not really sure about that. Back to the game, though. This bottom lane...
Oh, mid lane! Dampier gets a kill, getting that level 6 and using the Consume to great effect on Bubbles. And when you have 600 life and you get hit by that W, you're pretty much dead. As Rally taking some pressure here. A great Keg going to be coming in, though. And Forsaken Archer will go down. Now Magnus going to be in some trouble as well. His spell's on cooldown. Uses the Steam Bath. Going to keep running the last auto attacks. Finish him off. Rally taking some pressure. Engineer will go down to the tower, most likely. No, it looks like Master of Arms able to take the aggro from the tower, and a 3-for-0 exchange favoring ex-Trademark down here. Bubbles showing up. Oh no! Jonas and fans screwing up the shell surf there, and now Rally gonna be able to get away with the compel. A huge series of mistakes from Q Squad.
Yeah, this was very well done from TDM, and this is something I was gonna bring up. As levels keep coming onto these players, as Limp hits level 5, Master Arm starts getting some levels, Engineer as well, like these are extremely strong trialing heroes, and Magnus, like, he really just isn't that dominant presence in trialing. He is not a great trialing hero, and it's showing. I mean, a lot of people are gonna be like, yeah, well, how come? Oh, the old pros.
See you later, NG. He's in some serious trouble right here. The invisible Bubbles going in with the Song of the Sea. There's the Lava Surge stun. Wing Courier taking some pressure as well. Now recall, this Wing Courier shield only going to last about 4 seconds right now. And with a Shell Surf, this could be a very dead Courier if they scout this out. Only taking 2 more auto attacks. But no, not going to be scouted. Good control of the Courier. There was another kill in another lane as it looks like Style managed to take down Scout up top.
Yeah, Style once again proving to be the better 1v1 player out of the two. Killing Zai once again. 2 games in a row now winning his lane. So that's really
Rally in trouble. 4 players from the Q Squad team in the bottom lane. Oh, looks like the compel turnaround though, as Magma's taking some pressure. Rally will drop. There's a crippling volley onto Engineer as Forsaken Archer just throwing out some additional pressure. And just like that, QsQ able to recover with 3 concurrent kills.
Yeah, I mean, just compare this game to their last game. How they played this game. They got active heroes. They got Bubbles. They got Kraken. They got heroes that can move. And they're using it. They're playing it really, really well. I just don't know why they went with the lineup like they did last time. Bubbles moving around, setting up some kills, putting the trial lane back even.
And really nice, getting himself killed by walking right next to the Dampier there. God, that was... I have no clue what he was doing. It honestly looked like he clicked mid, path the wrong direction, and then took his hands off the keyboard to eat some chips or something. Like, he just walked right by Dampier, and Dampier's like, oh, it's once again a 640 health Bubbles. I'm just going to do the same thing I did last time. W, Q, E, excuse me, W, Q, R, and you're dead. Which is exactly what happened.
Going for another one, looks like. He has 3 essences now, so he does a lot of damage, has long CC durations. But look at this, they've shifted the trial lane to the middle lane, they're conceding bottom. They're leaving Valley to farm, they're giving TDM the entire pool to farm. And this is quite a big deal. Scout sitting in the middle lane, they know what's going on, they're scouting at the Glacius. Where are you going, Nova? Don't do that.
Oh, Nova gotta go down. And like you said, Nova putting himself in a little bit of a poor position right there. And Scout getting the Scout off, for lack of a better word. And a great job from Haxerin, who's 359 gold per minute. Top in the game, and this is where it starts to get extremely dangerous with the Dampier. You're not only giving him levels, but also giving him that farm.
Yeah, Dampier he's got everything going for himself, and as you guys remember back in the day with a lot of trial lanes, the consequence of trial lanes is low levels on the supports. You have heroes that are trailing in
Kraken could be in some trouble. Good tsunami charge right there. There's the silence coming out from Scout. Dust is going to be applied. Marksman shot, terrorizing flight coming in. Kraken trying to turn around. Defensive Master's Call, keeping Dampier alive as Kraken bites the dust. Shell Surf going to be used, but that Master's Call just proving a little bit too strong. Now Dampier in some trouble. Gonna go down to the Song of the Sea here. Lava Surge turn around as Scout now the one that's going to be in some trouble. The auto attack's being applied. Couple more from Jonas, what he needs. The Shell Surf going to be what he needs, though, as he chooses to port to it. Going to hit that observatory on the way out.
Yeah, very well done. QsQ definitely needed this. Unfortunately, the Style didn't survive. Really well used Master's Call there from my nuts. But yeah, I was going to say, the Dampier, with all these levels, he does a lot of damage to these trial lane supports. They're extremely vulnerable. Yeah, but good thing for QsQ, Mulder's getting a couple of kills, he's getting assists at least, which brings him back into the game. He has 3 of them, and that gives him some levels, keeps him away from being extremely underleveled, but still 4 levels behind a Dampier, a massive farm advantage. He is easy prey for that Dampier if he manages to catch them.
Well, most certainly is, but Dampier not going to get a kill right now as Kraken taking some more pressure up top. It seems like these two are just wailing at each other. Just an absolute slugfest between Scout and Kraken up top. Finesse versus raw, brutal strength. And so far, it's worked out pretty well for Style. He's sitting at 310 GPM, but Scout, I mean, he's doing well as well with those Ghost Marches and Life Tube. He's got what he needs to actually make an impact in this game while still remaining strong as a farmer.
He's doing his job, definitely. And you might be thinking, like, okay, how come it's 11 minutes into the game, we see one tower push? Yeah, one
Yep.
tower push in total. Like, this is not anything like what we used to see Han getting played. Well, this is the consequence of tri lanes. You have extended laning phases. The laning phases just last so long. And players like Style, players like Zai, they get to shine.
Oh, and speaking of Style, he does go down at the hands of Zai and Limp. A great use of the Compel plus the Seismic Slam in the top lane. Going to give Novi Pirat some additional time. Farm this lane up as Dampier goes in mid. Bubbles and Glacius turning around on him. There's the kelp field after the freeze coming in. And the Lava Surge is there as well. Dampier going to go down to the Shell Surf. Great job getting a very needed kill on that Dampier.
They're shutting down Haxor a little bit. He's died twice in a row now. He's kind of losing this huge edge that he had. He kind of needed it. It was huge for them as a team, but it's still, he still has a great farm. He has good levels. It's just not the biggest deal, but he needs to be careful so that this does not become a recurring trend where he just keeps on dying, and because he needs that level advantage. They gave him a level advantage for a reason. If he drops that off, he's not going to be nearly as effective. And his presence is just not going to be felt as much.
Engineer in some trouble down here as the Bubbles and Kraken trying to collide on him, but not going to happen. Glacius was in some trouble as well, almost walked into an Invisible Master of Arms. But speaking of retaining that level advantage, how does he need to build as he actually picks up a Neophyte's book right there? Leaning, going to be going for that very quick Light Brand. Is that what he needs to build right now to keep safe?
Well, he means to contest with the FA in terms of farming, and we've talked about this before, I do believe, but the Grimoire of Power on a Dampier is just so amazing. It synergizes so extremely well with the hero. Mid lane?
Yeah, Rally taking a little bit of pressure there, but he will be alright, not even needing to use the Compel. Yeah, the Grimoire going to give him a lot of farming potential, but Scout drops in the top lane to the combination of the Lava Surge, Crippling Volley, and the Piercing Arrows, so great job up there to bring down Zai. But talking once again, Bubbles doing a little bit of pressure there.
Cocky. Oh, he just ran up 1 versus 2 in the blind, and managed to take a couple of ancients, scared off xtdM. But yeah, back to the Dampier. I definitely think the Grimoire is the right way to go. It's kind of this item that's made Dampier get picked up so much. It's the synergy between the hero and the item that's just so phenomenal. It gives him farming abilities, it gives him damage, it gives him everything that hero needs.
Certainly.
Yeah, so definitely the right route. I definitely agree with this pickup.
Now, with that item, though, he's going to be extremely squishy. We sometimes see a Helm of the Black Legion coming out on him, but is it really just a matter of making sure that he's not caught in bad positions, more so than needing to actually tank up?
Yeah, well, for those of you who've watched, like,
Engineer actually taking some pressure in the middle lane. He does go down, even with the defensive Master's Call. And Rally wants a Compel onto Kraken. Not going to find it, though. But Bubbles in some serious trouble here. The Compel is available. There's the stun onto Bubbles. Deafening Roar and the auto attack from Haxor and to finish him off.
Yeah, no, good kill for Hax. Maybe we can get him starting just not well again. We saw the effect of that last game. But yeah, no, he is squishy, but what this game is probably going to pan into is a big farm fest. The consequence of the tri lane meta was generally that you had a carry that didn't really get a lot of farm because he was a hero that went into your tri lane, and then you just want to farm him up, and then you want to take the flashes. So he needs a farm item. Going for Helm of the Black Legion isn't really going to help him right now. He's not under direct pressure from the opposing team, unless he missteps, of course. So definitely the farming item, he just needs that to stay on par with FA. FA went for the
Whispering Helm.
Whispering Helm. Yeah, and just to continue on par with FA, not to fall behind, he needs that Light Brand. So there's no question about it. Definitely the right way to go.
All right. Well, it does finish up that Light Brand now. So getting the mana regen that the hero does need quite a bit. And now going to also have the AoE farming mechanic of the Light Brand dot. Charge shot going to be coming out in the middle lane. There's the combo from Dampier, and Nova could be in some trouble as well. Uses the Thunder Blast immediately after the Glacial Downpour. There's the offensive Master's Call coming in as there are TPs. Back up now is what's being called by ex-Trademark. Scout is here. Going to be able to get them all the information they need. This is about to be a 5-on-3 fight, though, as Q Squad chooses to back up. Wise decision.
Yeah, good play there from TDM. Not falling back entirely. They knew they were 5 heroes. Their lineup right now, I would argue, is stronger in this current timing than the Hellborn lineup. They just have more presence. Every single one of their heroes have an impact. You could say Scout probably like the least impactful in terms of damage and utility, but still, like that silence is a long-lasting silence. I do believe it's 4 seconds, 3 seconds on level 1 already. So yeah, and it is quite a big AoE. So that does do its fair share. It has a long-range nuke to pair up with long-range abilities on their team. So yeah, QsQ are probably gonna try and avoid team fights, whilst TDM don't mind taking them, but they're not gonna look to force them either. So good decision there to stay around. Don't give QsQ too much space. Force them to gather up, force the TPs, get that gold spent, and then you can move away.
Now, talking about carries that are trying to find some farm, Kraken actually, after having a very good start, has struggled a little bit to find some farm, not really having too many safe lanes to actually find those creep kills. He's sitting at about 280 gold per minute on Steam Boots, as well as that Elder Parasite, and his kill involvement still relatively minimal, only involved in 3 hero kills. What exactly does Style need to be doing right now?
Well, it's hard to say. Kraken is kind of a hero you pick up to team fight with, and his team is not in a position where they want to team fight. The other Parasite pickup to me is, it's kind of, I'm not the biggest fan of the item.
Oh, he's in trouble in the middle lane, as he does take some damage here. Kraken gonna be able to get the ultimate off right now, as Rally could be in some trouble. Song of the Sea gonna be coming in. There's the stun. Defensive Master's Call onto MOA. Kelpfield is there as well, but here comes the turnaround. There's a compelled Scout auto attack. Glacius gonna fall to the Dampier combo as well, and ex-Trademark taking a huge team fight in the middle lane.
Yeah, this is just, I mean, it might look like a mistake from the 3 that were there, but it really is on the hands of the people that weren't. Molly did not have a TP, used far too much farm to farm, like, far too much mana, sorry. He was not in a position to fight. And if you're doing that, you need to make it very, very clear to your team, like, hey guys, I don't have any mana, I cannot TP into a team fight. And that was, I think, the little advantage that TDM needed to close out this game. They're going to starting to play a lot more aggressive now, I feel, and they're going to just take the map control. They won that team fight, that gives them the momentum, that gives them a little bit more confidence when moving into the rest of the game. So a huge misplay on Nox's end, together with Molly. As
Dampier gets the kill solo onto Nox. The power of a hasted Dampier with that Grimoire, 18 minutes in. 1,000 life on Forsaken Archer. It's no thing to Dampier, as Master of Arms is going to get caught out a little bit right now. Shell Surf going to be going in, not going to connect as a triple stacked Ancient Steel occurs. And ex-Trademark, like you said, they're starting to really feel confident. They're going to continue being aggressive, and right now that resource advantage is just going to continue to climb.
I mean, it's a lot of the same thing as last game. Okay, what does TDM need in order to team fight? How much do their core items cost? Do they have these core items? Yes, they do. Compare that to what FA needs to fight. FA needs a ton of farm, and she doesn't have it. Same kind of goes for Kraken. Kraken needs a lot of survivability. He doesn't really do a lot of damage. He's just up there with his ultimate.
Oh, middle lane. There's the Terrorize coming in after the Vampiric Flight. Tsunami Charge coming out as well. There's the ultimate from Kraken. Catching Engineer and Dampier. Scout not able to chase down the bubbles either. And so nobody gonna die from QsQ in the middle lane. That's at least one great thing.
Yeah. No deaths, but then again, no kills. And yeah, FA's farming away, but there's a lot of time that she needs to get to the point where she wants to be. She's only farming at 340 GPM right now. It's not where you want to be as a FA. It is rising though. That's the good news for them. It's not being statically held there.
MOA in some trouble, perhaps in the bottom lane. Uses the offensive Master's Call, and the Elder Parasite from Kraken not going to be enough to chase him down. So a great decision there, as Scout actually trailing the Forsaken Archer, probably going to open up on her in just a second here. Oh, he's going to get this courier. Oh, going around the other side.
He's going for it.
And yeah, that's a dead courier. That's a done courier. See you later. I don't know, man. That might be the nail in the coffin right there. When you lose your courier, that's actually incredibly demoralizing for a team.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. This late on, it's not as bad, I would say, as like when you lose it in the laning phase. It can be like, oh god, really? Yeah. I have to run all the way back to my courier because my mid hero killed it. Jesus Christ.
But things getting out of control here for Q Squad.
No, yeah, it's really hard. I feel like they're not catching up by avoiding fights right now. TDM is just getting farm on more heroes.
Now Master of Arms getting caught out. Lava Surge into the eruption here as MOA will go down, so Minot's giving up the first kill in a little while, but Dampier comes in with the combo. He gets frozen, gets the kill onto Magbus. Look at the damage he does, and he's not even done just yet. A couple of auto attacks after the Terrorize will be enough to kill Glacius, and see you later, Glacius. The Reese the Kraken ultimate coming out though. Daxter trying to spam click on out of there. Tsunami charge and the big hit is enough to finish him off, and Bubble's gonna go down at the hands of Scout plus Rally. Kraken Forsaken Archer there now though, trying to finish off these two players from ex-Trademark. TP support gonna be coming in. Hasted Engineer, no, it's a Striding Engineer gonna be getting out though. As a buyback on Bubbles, there's the Compel. Keg gonna be coming in as well. Turret and down goes Forsaken Archer. Engineer even holding the ultimate, but ex-Trademark, their foot's on the pedal, man. They're not letting up.
Yeah, QsQ crumbling a little bit there. They're not communicating well. Style played that team fight really, really well. They got the kill on Dampier. They should have
Bubbles using the Shell Surf to farm, immediately killed. Like, at the exact same time the Shell Surf was being used, he was already being opened on. Scout with a Rune Cleaver, up at 380 gold per minute now. I mean, it's getting clear to me that this game is out of the hands of of Q Squad and Trademark, and they've got everything they need to win right now.
I mean, it requires a kind of major screw up in order for QsQ to get back into this game. Elder Parasite finished up on Scout as well. Not sure if that is too serious of an item choice. He is kind of squishy. He does have the attack speed already, so maybe damage would synergize better with it here, but just actually never mind that at all. He's hitting for 270 damage.
He does have a TD.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. That makes more sense. Like, wow, he's hitting hard. Yeah, no, but I mean, the item is a great offensive item. When you don't need a Shrunken Head, it's probably the most cost-efficient item that you can find.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Glacius.
The attack speed looking pretty good as... Yeah, Glacius.
I hope you're looking at this.
Yeah, Glacius gonna get gone on here, and Dampier finishes him off. There's the piercing arrows coming in here, as Dampier could be in a lot of trouble. The Torment gonna come out, and, well, there's a kill on to Dampier, most likely. Yes, he will go down, and Rally gets interrupted as well. Rally gonna give them an extra kill here. And down he goes. Scout and Engineer in the vicinity, so Scout wants to go in, has the Master of Arms Engie support, and Engie gonna drop that electric fence. Kraken getting ulted, but he turns it around with the Kraken ultimate here. There's the piercing arrows, the Shell Surf Song of the Sea gonna finish off too. There's the Lava Surge Eruption gonna be coming in. A Scout taking a lot of damage, and Scout does get the invis off. Gonna turn it around, gets the kill, but is he really going to try to man up right now? Scout goes down, and the Genocide completed for Q Squad 357. Ex-Trademark giving up a lot of unnecessary kills.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about major mistakes needing to happen, and that was it. That was the play that TDM needed to do for QsQ to get back into this game. And now suddenly, look at that Forsaken Archer. She's up to level 15. That is a lot of experience in her hands, and soon hitting that 16 mark, that ultimate is going to tear the support players of TDM apart. That's 6 levels on the trial lane supports, and it's a big deal. She's going to be hitting really, really hard, and you saw that Kraken ultimate, just how that just turned around that team fight. He caught both the supports. When you kill the backline of a lineup like TDM's, you're doing really good. You're removing the stun factor. Also, Haxorn, what an incredible poor jump. He just went straight in, and it just, nothing was right for TDM that fight. I could probably go on. Limp, pushing Haxorn in instead of out when he was in a terrible spot. I mean, there was just nothing clicking for them, so...
I really don't know what exactly happened right there, but that did not look like the Trademark team, the ex-Trademark team that we've been seeing over the past few days. As Master of Arms in some trouble in the bottom lane. There's the Elder Parasite activated. The Kelp Field is there as well, as MOA is in some serious trouble. Down he goes, breaking the Kelp Field. QsQ, they are starting to make a comeback here.
I mean, they're suddenly back in the game. There's no arguing about it. They're in this now. Even though you look at the resources, you see it's a huge gold advantage in favor of QsQ. In favor of xtdM, they're 56% compared to the 44% of QsQ, but they got momentum, and those of you who played back in the trialing days know how big of a deal this was. Like, momentum swings that happened just determined how people played. They became so passive, so afraid of making plays, and the experienced players like Minus, they used to be able to predict these gold advantages perfectly, more or less, when they were playing, because they had played this patch for so long. They knew exactly how much everything was worth. They don't have that edge anymore. That's all changed. You don't know exactly if you're ahead or not. You don't know if it's very, very even or you're slightly ahead, or if you have that little advantage you need to just move on and take another step that we can just see here in the numbers. So it's harder for them to calculate this, and I think xtdM might just fall on the defensive now, give QsQ that space that they really do need. But then again, Dampier finishing up a BKB is going to be a really big deal as well.
Yeah, that shrunken head. Do you know if he already has a Mighty Blade or not?
I don't think so. He's had a couple of times.
Yeah,
he's sitting at 600, close 500 GPM, so maybe.
Yeah, I don't think he has it. Unfortunately, dying like 3 times after getting that portal key. Just getting a little bit overzealous up there in that top lane, as Novi Parat doing a great job on Kraken, getting the counter ward off. But Kraken, oh, nice charge out of the energy field. The turret back in, though. Great positioning from Fitsky. Kraken ultimate going to be coming in, and will Magnus follow up? He will. The lava surge into the eruption here. Down goes 1 support. Will they be able to make it 2? But no, Rally going to be coming in here. Use the deafening roar. Double compel going to be coming out. Down goes Magnus. The dust going to be activated. There's now 4 players here, as Scout going to take the freeze. Glacius going to be trying to get away. There's no more support, as oh, the push going to be getting Nova killed. These pushes just not working out. The compel on Rally and that push, but both of them going the wrong direction this time.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this was on Nox once again. He didn't have the mana to TP in. There was a tier 2 tower right there. That would have been a complete different fight if he TP'd when the Kraken dropped his ultimate. Like, what's the point of having a TP? Everybody knows the first 101, always carry a TP on you. Nox does that, but he doesn't have any mana, so he can't TP. It's basically as if he did not have a TP. And for a player of his skill level to make this kind of a mistake in this important of a game, it's just not acceptable.
Yeah, not working out for them right there. Could have been a massive turnaround. All of that started with Zai dropping an Electric Eye, blocking the Ancients, and Kraken having to go over there and deal with that. And the ex-Trademark team capitalizing on seeing that Kraken out of position by himself, trying to make something happen as a Brutalizer is picked up on Scout. I love it. Oh, Rally in some trouble, actually. Torrent going to be going out. There's the Lava Surge coming in as well. Glacial Downpour, as he does take the fall to Style. Even Jonas coming in, as 5 QsQ players get their hands on that Rally.
Yeah, no, well done there. They use the Glacial to make sure that they get that kill in time and don't waste any time. Actually, there we go. Did you see what Haxorn just picked up?
Yeah, the shrunken head.
That is a game changer.
Big game changer, as long as he remembers to use it. Oh, Scout gonna get caught out right here by the dust. Oh, Lava Surge gonna miss, though, from Magnus. This could turn into a disaster. Shrunken Head activated as the combo coming in from Dampier. Kraken gonna get absolutely annihilated. Scout gonna be going down as well. Energy field is there. There's the elemental, or excuse me, the eruption, as well as the Lava Surge. Papa Mali trying to get out of there. If he switches to his Int Boots, he can PK on out, and looks like he might be able to get out of there in just a moment. Looks like he will, so it looks like a Kraken traded for Scout plus Rally.
And a tower.
And a tower.
Definitely QsQ. Yeah, QsQ definitely came out in favor there.
And the big 10-second Shrunken Head on Dampier down.
Yeah, that too. But you could actually see the impact of that Shrunken Head already.
Oh,
Dampier just ignored the FA ultimate. Just ignore the fact that they have 12 stuns on that team.
That was an illusion. I was like, holy crap. Crippling Volley going to come in now, and there's the freeze coming in from Glacius. Defensive Master's Call is there. Bubbles going to get the Song of the Sea off. There's the Shell Surf coming in. Rally shows up, gets the compel into Bubbles, though. Seismic Slam, and Bubbles going to be taking cover for now. Rally going in. Dampier actually going to go down. Bubbles takes the fall as well. So Haxorn getting overzealous once more. Kraken going to be buying back right now. Does throw out the Torrent, slowing down the Master of Arms. 2-man Lava Surge going to be coming in. There's the Compel out of the Tsunami, and release the Kraken ultimate. Does finish off Engineer. Man, oh man. Q Squad 357, 4 players up. Might be looking for more towers. There's a Marksman shot going to be used onto Kraken. He's got to get out of there. Has Elder Parasite in 5 seconds. Should be fine.
Yeah, no, Haxorn making uncharacteristically many mistakes this game. Generally plays very, very well, but he's just been... I don't know what's happened. He had such a fantastic start. He played so amazing the first game. Just absolutely perfectly. He's just making a bit too many mistakes now. Overextending, just not really knowing his limitations. Maybe it's hurting him playing against these heroes that he's not used going up against. But yeah, no, QsQ, you're playing this much better now. I just want to see TPs on Nox. I want to see Nox more involved in the game. He needs to be able to help his team when help is needed. And if he does that a little bit better, they would not have been in such a shitty position as they kind of still are.
They aren't in the best position, but I mean the resource advantage narrowing up significantly, and even with that shrunken head on Dampier now, if they're able to wait that out or catch him without that shrunken head up, I mean he does die very quick. 2200 life goes pretty quick when you don't have a ton of armor, nothing to really mitigate it. I mean, actually he does have a significant amount of armor, 14.5 at this point, but Forsaken Archer just picked up her shrunken head as well. And looking like there could be another big clash. Scout gonna walk right over a Ward of Revelation. And
really nicely placed there from Nova. I don't think a lot of people maybe
Rally going in. There's the deafening roar. Seismic Slam gonna get frozen. Not gonna be able to finish it off. There's the Lava Surge gonna be going in. Nova gonna be the first one to go down right here. The counter kill under Rally and Engineer. The Tsunami Charge gonna be able to bring down Kraken actually. Scout gonna be taking a lot of damage. It looks like he's gonna get out of there as Nox, one of the last ones up for his team here. And it looks like he is out safely. Magmus gonna be able to get the PK out as well. Scout opening up on some creeps. Ends up being a 2-for-3 exchange favoring ex-Trademark. That was a crazy opener to that fight.
Yeah, I don't really agree with the initiation on FA there from Rally, but it worked out decently. I think what they should be going is going for the backline. They should go for the backline heroes. They obviously knew what was going on there. They had a fantastic ward for basically spotting everything out, giving them the information that they needed, and they chose to go for the FA. I feel like they don't have the resources to bring down the FA, and it's not the biggest deal. Now that they have the Shrunken Head on Haxorn, the FA ultimate is you can kind of ignore it. It's not the biggest impact. Yeah, it hurts your backline, but FA is not really that mobile. You can still just work around her, I feel, until she gets that Savage Mage.
Dampier is actually going to go in for this. Is he insane? Does not have the Shrunken Head for 2 more seconds here. Scout going to be going in as well. There's the defensive master's call with the Shrunken Head now. And Nox could be the ones in trouble getting locked down. Shrunken Head going to be activated on him. MOA going to be coming in as well. And down goes the Forsaken Archer. Gets the piercing shards off. And it looks like Master of Arms will go down. The Lava Surge not needed right there. Scout going to take the fall as well. Actually, Nox is still alive. Dampier going to be going down as the energy field is applied. Kelfield finishes him off. The hat trick going to be coming in for Yoda Fan. A beautiful release. The Kraken ultimate. His Engineer going to be taking some pressure. 4 heroes going to go down as QsQ takes another massive team fight as TDM is giving them this game.
Yeah, I mean, once again, really, really well done. I've been giving Nox a couple of call-outs for not making the right decision, but did he play that team fight perfectly?
I thought he was dead.
Yeah, I mean, he played it so well. He stayed out. He backed off, not far enough to not have an impact, but he stayed there. He did what he's not been doing the entire game. He had an impact, even though he wasn't in a position to. Like, he stayed in the fight. He kept using his volley. He's pumping in a couple of auto attacks. It's not, they don't hurt too much. I mean, it's 180 damage, but it makes a difference having 5 heroes attacking instead of just 4. And really well done by him there. They're gonna get the token of life here, and he's not too far off with that Savage Mace. And that Savage Mace is gonna make him a scary carry. That's when he starts doing damage.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, this game is pretty much anyone's for the taking now. QsQ, even though the resources are in TDM's favor, it's about 3% more.
Yeah, it's minimal. It's almost nothing at this point.
Exactly. It's not the biggest deal. It's about 1 item difference, and as a team, 1 item, it doesn't really matter 35 minutes into the game. It's all going to come down to execution, and if they're able to go for the right targets at the right times. And I just don't feel like TDM is doing it. They need to be focusing down the backliners.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's happened to them in the last 15 minutes or so, but that one team fight up top, ever since then, they've just kind of started to lose it. And maybe some of these items that you can consider maybe even trollish here on Scout, such as the Elder Parasite and the Brutalizer, not really
I wouldn't say that, actually.
Okay.
Actually, no. He becomes such a great anti-carry with that Brutalizer and the Elder Parasite. he's just able to lock down the FA, keep FA away from doing damage, and that's really all he wants to do. If he does that, he's filling his role. I mean, he has a disarm,
Okay.
and then the brutalizer on top of that. Both go through the BKB, I do believe. I'm not exactly 100% sure about the disarm, but I do believe it does.
I believe it does as well.
Yeah. So that just keeps FA away from doing damage. So no, definitely good item pickups by Zai here playing the scout.
All right, as the Slayer was just picked up by Forsaken Archer, she took a look at a Dancing Blade and put it back in the shop, saying, I want to return this and exchange it for a Slayer. And speaking of that Savage Mace, now about 1,600 gold off as a marksman shot deals a fair amount of damage to Forsaken Archer in the middle lane. And an Acolyte Staff now picked up on Bubbles as well. But look at these wards here from Fitsky, really giving a lot of vision around this bottom river area. And these were placed after Kongor was already dead. I don't really know what's up with that.
Yeah, I mean, they just taking a look in general at the map. I think this is a consequence of Bound Eye nerf.
Oh, they're going in right here. Kraken gets caught indeed, but Lava Surge Eruption going to be coming in, doing a lot of damage. Engineer Scout both going to be going down. Rally takes the fall. Dampier gets annihilated as well. A Hatcher coming out for Nox, and now Master of Arms on the run. Will he be able to outrun Forsaken Archer? It looks like he will. Yeah, but QsQ has an opportunity to just blitz down the middle lane right now. They're trying to make a run for it. No, gonna instead turn for the middle lane. That was a huge team fight for QsQ.
Did I hear Wombo?
Wombo combo. Oh, they're going to get Master of Arms as well. The Genocide going to be completed here as Bubbles gets the solo kill while the rest of the team is looking for racks in the middle lane.
Yeah, I mean, I brought this up early on in the drafting stage, how dangerous it is to have this many melee heroes, to have this many heroes with just that want to jump into the middle of the fight, going up against the Kraken, and there you saw it. You just caught everybody. Magnus ulti on top of it, FA ulti on top of that. There was nothing TDM could do when they were in that kind of position. They cannot.
Buybacks coming in here. Haxerin comes in. Nice take cover on the Compel. The melee racks are saved. But of course, using those buybacks, going to make that resource lead that's now in Q Squad's favor. It's even bigger than it seems.
And FA finished the Savage Mace. You talk about core items, you talk about heroes hitting their scale peak. FA just now pretty much hit the peak that Dampier reached about 20 minutes ago. Her hero is at maximum strength now. Dampier was at his strength when he had the Grimoire, he had the portal key, he was able to pick up anybody on the map. He was so strong. Just TDM were not able to use that effectively, I feel. And looking at his farm, in about 20 minutes, he was farming at 450 gold per minute, and he's only picked up Shrunken Head in 20 minutes. It's not acceptable for a carry at this stage in the game. It just goes to show how poorly TDM have executed the last couple of team fights, and how they've not been able to capitalize on the advantage that they had early on.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for them right now. The momentum very much so in Q Squad 357's favor. And Trademark, I mean, I don't know. Are they on tilt right now? Are they going to be able to recover from this?
They are a very experienced team. They are one of the teams that do tilt, however. I mean, I suppose it's common knowledge by this time, but Minus probably is one of those players that he will call out his teammates for making mistakes really, really harshly. And he'll make sure that they know that they screwed up. And it's hard to play with that kind of a presence in the team. I just hope that it's not the case right now. It's not always like that. Sometimes it's the complete opposite. But it's a known fact that it can happen. And Q Squad is just the complete opposite. These are like, when they do good, they're really excited to be there.
Bubbles looking for a sheep on a scout. Unfortunately, not able to find it. But speaking of that, does finish up the sheep stick. Opting to go that route where we would normally see something like a Hellflower, but once again, consequences of the changes made to that item in the patch a couple days ago.
Yeah, and I think Sheepstick actually synergizes better with their goal this game. They just want card control to deal with the Scout and the Dampier. You want to try and catch them before their Shrunken Heads, and they don't really need the extra damage that a Hellflower provides. And normally, this late into the game, the extra 1,000 gold that Sheepstick costs isn't the biggest deal. It's more so the first item, Hellflower, that we used to see a lot. That was the big impact maker, and that's like where 1,000 gold bear is a big difference. If it's a 6,000 gold item or if it's a 5,000 gold item.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, they're
middle
catching
lane.
MOA indeed. Kelfield going to be used there. Unfortunately missing. Jonasum fan, an uncharacteristic mistake right there. As Kraken gets caught in the bottom lane, the energy field going to be used, and down goes Kraken at the hands of Scout, Dampier, and Engineer. So a botched kill in the middle lane, successful one in the bottom. 70 seconds now on that Kraken's resurrection, and how does Q Squad respond to this?
I mean, they don't have a buyback. This could be the opener for TDM to maybe apply some pressure. I really hope they do. It looks like they're assuming that he has a buyback and they're not really making a play for it. They do need to push out the middle lane though, so this is a correct decision. They can't just run down bottom. But it just looks like they're going to farm it out, so not too big of a deal for QsQ. This could have ended pretty poorly. So, yeah, I'm not really sure if I agree with TDM just playing it more passively, but it's understandable. They've had such a massive lead in this game. They don't want to take any more major risks of throwing it away.
Yeah, they most certainly do not, but now making their way up the middle lane as all 5 players are here. Scout maybe looking for another electric eye in just a few seconds, but Kraken up in 20 seconds. They're not going to have much time to deal damage to this tower. Scout clearing out the creep wave so quick. Crippling Volley going to go in as he takes a lot of damage. Only 1,700 life and 19 armor on that Scout. Shell Surf going out from Bubbles, and that will force the ex-Trademark team back. Energizer even going to be activated to really expedite their retreat.
Yeah, moving into the Hellborn jungle, farming it out. I mean, this is something you can always expect TDM to do. How they split up to take the enemy's farms when they fall back from a push, it's always perfect. And, yeah, well done on this aspect. They take some farm back. They close that gold gap a little bit. It's pretty much dead even right now.
Yeah.
You got to keep in mind 2 buybacks from Hellborn earlier on in the game, so they were kind of cheaper. The Legion buybacks were later on, so they were more expensive. It's just the gold. The resources say it's even, but
this could be bad really. Over here. This is about to be a possibly big engagement. Shell Surf going to be going out. Sheepstick going to be held from Bubbles. Not opting to use it.
He didn't really have any follow-up, so it's understandable. I think they would have been able to get the kill, but since there's a tower there, they just did not want to risk it. They have the hard carry, if you want to say that. I don't really personally consider FA hard carry, but they have the harder carry out of the 2 in this game. Scout maybe later on does become stronger carry, but he just doesn't have the farm to compete with FA at the moment. And yeah, she finishes up Symbol of Rage. And I think this is the item that QsQ been waiting for. Oh, look at the top.
Oh, they're gonna go in on that Scout. In fact, Scout will go down. I didn't happen to see how that one started. Can you fill me in?
Oh yeah, definitely. Bubbles TP'd back early. He was in base. Scout goes for the backdoor. Blink, Sheepstick, mass TP. This is the normal setup. This is something that a lot of top tier teams do really, really well. And yeah, QsQ executed it perfectly there. Let's see how they take this to their advantage. They have an open push. They can go pretty much wherever they want. When you get a pick off like that, it's pretty much just straight up go. Even though Scout does have a buyback, forced it at least. Yeah,
definitely. If I can give one criticism here to Nova, it's hard because he's an idol of mine. It's like the 3rd time I've seen him now pick up a Lex Talionis in these games in the last couple days, and I've never seen him use it. Like, I think he's just forgetting that he has the item in his inventory, which is such a cool item. But you need to activate that at some point, Nova. Right now, though, like you said, the Blitz going to be coming down the middle lane. Buyback is available on Scout, so they'll be watching for that one. The Melee Rack's taking a lot of pressure. The Savage Mace attacking right up the hill. And Scout buyback immediately going to be coming in. There's the Shrunken Head, not going to be activated in time, actually, for Forsaken Archer. She gets it. Oh, the turnaround is going to be coming in here. There's the Eruption, the Lava Surge onto 5 players right here. So much damage going to be going out. Down goes Engineer. The Master of Arms going to be going down, buying back immediately. And down goes Dampier. Scout going to be getting away for now. And down goes Rally. Master of Arms into trouble. The Kelfield going to be coming out. GG well played as Q Squad 357 makes the comeback and forces game number 3 here in the Runic Shift. Nova saying, we are not done yet.
Yeah, very well done there from QsQ. Executing these from the point that they got a little bit of momentum, they just played it really, really well. But, I mean, the hero of this game just has to be Style. Look at those Kraken ultimates. They were perfect every single time. They got 4 heroes that last fight. I think he had a 3-hero one earlier. The fight where they pretty much turned the game, he caught both the backliners. So extremely well done from Style. I think he just played phenomenally throughout this entire series. You can easily look at the game and go like, yeah, well, Nox, look at his farm, man. It's like, yeah, he was farming, but the player that made it happen, I feel, was Style this game. He played extremely well. And as per usual, Molly, you don't notice him during the game, but he doesn't make many mistakes. He just plays really, really good, really solid throughout the entire game. So I just feel like he deserves a shout out.
Those eruptions and lava surges, I mean, throughout the entire game, making some really big 2- and 3-man lava surges. There at the end, of course, being set up by Kraken and Forsaken Archer, but the 5-man eruption lava surge, that was game right there.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So,
well, I would argue the tablet that pushed FA out of the Engineer Ultimate. I can't tell you who did use that. I'm gonna assume it was Jonas because he was in the middle of that. It just made sure FA survived, and that is what really did win them the fight. So
very well played by QsQ altogether. So guys, we are going to be going into that third and final game, figuring out who will be advancing into the Runic Shift Grand Finals, trying to bring home that first place prize, and whose time in this tournament is done. It's QsQ versus ex-Trademark. Game number 3 going to be coming up here next, right here on Colecast. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.